Welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Zone. I'm your co-host, Tom Spitalere. Melissa's out tonight. We're getting ready for another big storm, so we had to postpone our regular guest that was going to actually come on tomorrow night and be out by Wednesday like we always do. And Bob's away right now on doing a big assignment for us on UFO research. So with that, though, we put the show together for tonight. We got a great show lined up. The Paranormal Zone is set up so we listen to everybody's views, whether it's UFO, Bigfoot, paranormal, or anything that goes bump into the night. Well, we're broadcasting here tonight from the Lawrence Community Access TV's studio in Lawrence, in historic, beautiful, haunted Lawrence, Massachusetts, high above Jesse's Diner. And we're up on the third floor. Check us out. Check out some of the other shows we've done. We've done a lot of shows. We're almost to 200 episodes. 100 episodes. Sorry, 100 episodes. So we're getting closer and closer. So tonight's guest is a very interesting guest. I met Jessica over at Hilldale Cemetery. She showed up one night out of the blue with some of the family members and stuff. And she hit everything right on site. Now, Hilldale is one of the most haunted sites in New England, and she hit everything on site. Asked her to join up with Essex County, asked her to call me in February, and lo and behold, in the end of January, she's making phone calls, and we've already had a couple cases where I needed extra help, so Jessica's now part of the team. Jessica Miranda is a death doula and many other things. She's got great ability. She's a channeler too. So this is the show we're gonna be discussing, going back to the paranormal. I know for the last except for last week. Last week's show we did a special on the Ossipee Triangle, which is very not talked a lot about. So check out that show. That had a lot of great stuff to it. And we've gotten some phone calls about it. I may end up on some cases out in the Ossipee area. So the Ossipee Triangle is hit pretty heavy up there. And we're going to enjoy maybe going up there. But, so Jessica, what do you do? And start with that.
So I am a practicing death doula, and it's very literal what I do, much like you have a birthing doula to help you through the labor of birth. I assist those labor to the other side. We are totally non-medical, so we're able to do a lot of things that medical aspects, their hands are a little bit bound when it comes to dying.
Yeah, it can be a rough time, especially when you go into hospice or something.
Exactly.
That's never a party. Talking from my own experiences with hospice, it wasn't easy with my dad.
Hospice can be difficult navigating, and when you're going through it by yourself or it's you and your family members, the information can get so overwhelming, and plus you and your family members, you're also overwhelmed with your own grief and processing of emotions of this terminal diagnosis. So that's when, if you have a death doulas can help you find the perfect hospice agency, whether you want hospice at home, in a hospice home. Like, we are your voice. We are there to advocate for you and really ensure your end of life wishes are met 100%.
Yeah, no, that is tough, especially when you have, certain things that come up on the financial end.
Yep.
And hospice goes digging for everything.
Yes, and I can't speak for all death doulas, but I know for myself and a couple other death doulas that I do know, we're either donation-based or we provide sliding scale-based pay, because no death is the same, much like no birth is the same. It has to be tailored to what that person needs.
No, so, well, that's why death doulas, birth doulas are very important. Mm-hmm. And it's another thing to look at, because when you go into a birth, there's a lot of emotions for women and men, both if they're there, or whatever the situation is. And death is full of emotions.
It's
especially when you get into
spectrum.
especially when you get into hospice, because now Some people last a day, some last 2, some last a week, and I've known a few people who've come out of hospice on the right side of the dandelion.
It does happen. It does happen. We call it graduating from hospice, which it's rare, but it does happen, and that just means you and your soul still had some things to see. You still had some business to attend to.
And they were able
it's not
to
time.
get rid of whatever, at least, if not get rid of it, put it to sleep for a while till
Yep.
the right time. Because I've had a few friends, most of my friends are a lot older. A lot of the friends I had are in cemeteries right now, all over
you
New
and
England.
Me both. Most of my bestest pals are
Yeah,
on the other side.
yes, they're looking down.
It happens when you're gifted yourself.
Right.
It happens, I've noticed, as a gifted person, we tend to gravitate towards the elders, and we tend to develop those relationships and bonds with the elders because they have so much wisdom to share.
Correct. And at least you can have a conversation. It's
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
normal. Yeah, there's a few that, yeah, they might have some issues, but for the most part, they're pretty normal, and that's how they get. That's why I've always gotten along with them. Mm-hmm. So yes, I've lost quite a few friends, different times. Even lost a few friends from high school,
Yeah.
which is hard to believe. I haven't even hit the halfway mark yet.
That's the thing with death, though. It doesn't
Tell you the age.
discriminate
No.
on your age. Whatever you are, it'll come for you. It's the one thing none of us can escape.
No, that is for sure. Death and taxes.
Amen to that.
So, how would you? Okay, so let's, instead of making up names, we're not going to use any names at all. So, someone calls you up. Could be a family member. Could be the person who's knocking on the door. I should say, their door's knocking on them.
Yes. Grim Reapers.
What makes the difference between in-home hospice and going to a hospice center?
I think it all really depends on the individual and how accepting they are of their death, how planned they've already had their death. I've noticed the ones that bring hospice into the home and the ones that choose to have that home death, they're in full acceptance, they're ready, and they just want to make that death as peaceful and comfortable as possible.
So at home is,
Absolutely. I'm always pro-home, and the beautiful thing is, especially with Massachusetts is very, very cool if you have a home funeral, if you have a home death. Massachusetts really doesn't intervene. They're like,
Right.
you
Yep.
handle your dead however you want.
right, there's only one thing they intervene on.
That is transporting the body.
Well, that and where you bury them.
Yes.
No more backyard burials.
No, well, if you have enough
If you are,
land.
right, and if you already have a graveyard
Yep.
attached to the property, which a lot of homes from the 16, 17, and 1800s in New England, especially the small towns, they have the family plot out back.
Yep. Little sections
So
off.
as long as it's already there,
You're good.
you're good. So yeah, no, Massachusetts, in fact, most people don't even know this. When we got into a house, well, the only house you helped us with, didn't reach the age of that house of time. But you go look at an old Victorian home. We've all seen those, right? And they turn them into, apartments. We've seen that more than once. In any city, town in America, or even in England, France, Russia, wherever you're listening tonight, you're going to have the same thing. So you have the front parlor room. Most people don't understand what the front parlor room is.
Ah, the good old living room.
The living room.
AKA the very first rooms where wakes were held.
Correct. Hence funeral parlors. Now they call it funeral homes, but growing up, I always heard my grandparents go, "We get to the funeral parlor." I never heard funeral home until
I was raised with funeral parlors.
Till later
in
on.
Wilmington. It was always, I gotta go to the funeral
Funeral parlor,
Say,
yeah.
Say goodbye to Jerry.
yeah, gotta get to the funeral parlor.
Yeah.
Great aunt, gotta say goodbye to your great aunt. Get to the funeral parlor. I only started hearing funeral home a few years, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I still use the word funeral parlor.
it flows better.
Well, yeah, because that's where all the funerals took place, in the parlor room of your house.
Exactly.
And the body would lay in state, and they would come in the back, probably the back door or something, depending on how big it was expected to be, and walk through the house, through the parlor, out the front door.
And that's why the kitchen was always connected too.
Right.
So you view the body, then you go to the kitchen, you gather, and then you say your adieus, and
Off you
off you
go.
merry way.
Yeah, and then off to the cemetery, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Because in colonial times, they dug a hole, threw you in. Then came the Great Awakening in the 1800s, the religious revitalization of America, I guess you want to call it at that time. And they started doing more funerals like you see today.
That's also when embalming
Right,
started becoming more trending. Before embalming was really only provided to the very, very wealthy.
right, because it was expensive.
And then as we move closer to the 19th century, everybody needs to be embalmed. It keeps them preserved longer, and it doesn't. You don't have to have embalming, not a
No.
requirement. It's
No.
just more money.
And now today they went back to the way I want to go. There's only a few states that do it though. Mass happens to be not one of them. Colorado and Maine. The best way I like to put it, some people will say Viking. I would say something a little different. A Jedi burial,
Yes.
using the old Star Wars references, where you burned outside. Big pile of lumber, you put on top,
It's mint.
and I think they call them green burials, though I don't know what they're calling them.
It's a form of, they consider it a form of cremation. I can't remember the exact word or terminology that they use, but they categorize it under
Yeah, because the
a form of
Vikings did that.
cremation.
The Vikings were nefarious for that.
Yes, it's the last send-off to Valhalla.
Yes, so it's real interesting at best. And that's the way I probably want to go.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah, that would be perfect for me. So back to what you do, helping people move on. So now we got in-home hospice or hospice centers, it doesn't matter. So you get the call from a family or the person, doesn't matter. So what's the next step you would do?
Usually we do a consult where I like to ask, what's your prognosis? Have you been told how long you have? Because I think it's essential the earlier you have a death doula in with your terminal diagnosis, the better your death is going to be, because you're able to create a relationship with that death doula. Like, you want to have a relationship and a friendship, because this could be the person that quite literally sees you till your very last breath. I always think it's an important question to ask my clients. Some get a little taken aback, and then others are like, this is a good question, but I always ask, what do you envision your last days to be? What do you want them to smell like? What do you want them to look like? What sounds do you want? How do you want the room to feel? Because it's all so important. If you create that atmosphere, it just provides a better death. And it provides an easier transition for the soul to fully detach from the body, and the body just does its natural labor. So it's all lots of questioning, and then ultimately, what do you want out of this experience? And how can I help you achieve all of this?
And then put the plan together.
Yep.
Interesting, and people go with that. So then you get the plan together. So what are some of the things that I know every individual case, just like a ghost in a house, is separate.
Always different.
Right, but what would be some of the stuff that you would do?
I am a huge pro. It is a Swedish tradition. I'm not even going to try to say the word in Dutch because I will botch it. But Swedish death cleaning. I love facilitating Swedish death. I like to call them Swedish death cleaning parties. Swedish death cleaning is so key to when you're dying and facing that end of life, because what do you do with all the stuff? Do you just leave all the stuff, which I've seen so many times where the stuff's just left for the kids and they don't have time to focus on their grief because they're like, well, what did mom and dad want to do with this? Like, I don't even know. Did she want us to donate it or throw it away or someone to have it? So when you facilitate a Swedish death cleaning party, you're going through everything while you're here, and it makes it easier for your loved ones because they're the ones that are left with all the stuff.
So yeah, this will go to Jackie, this will go to Susan, this will go to Tim,
And I've noticed,
and this will go to Salvation Army, and this will go to the trash.
And I've noticed, like, within these Swedish death cleaning parties, you know, really incredible conversations happen between the family members and the dying ones, and memories are shared, and there's laughing and crying, and sentimental pieces are given with the story attached. And I see that's more meaningful versus those sentimental pieces given after the person's gone. And it's just, oh, this was in the will, here you go.
So it's basically get the whole family together that they wanted at the house.
Yeah, and
And
just...
throw a party. That's what it is.
yeah, absolutely. Throw that party, you know, clean out, organize things, so that way your loved ones can focus on their grieving process when you die. And you can't take any of it with you, so might as well
Yeah, that's
use
usually,
it or get rid of it now.
yeah, that can, and then it piles up.
Yes. And it can become emotional baggage, physical baggage. It piles up to where it can be too much, and none of us want that for our loved ones.
Well, you don't want them fighting over the glass vase.
Which happens, all the tchotchkes or, you know, Nana's recipe book. When you're there...
Which I don't understand Nana's recipe book, because, yes, it was Nana's, and she wants to go to Julie. We'll just throw names out there. But Tom, Patty, and Joe wanted a copy. They could just send that to a printer and get copied, Nana's recipe
Go
book.
to Staples.
Yeah,
They got plenty of copy machines.
yeah, just run it through. And then you got Nana's book.
Exactly. And that's another thing. So playing onto that, another service I like to provide for all of my doula clients are legacy projects and memory books, and, you know, throw all your recipes and we'll make, you know, binders for all the grandkids, and it's just an extra added memento that your family will have, and it ensures that, like, your legacy lives on even though your physical body's not here.
Right.
Your energy and soul is still living on through what you're leaving behind.
No, you're right about that, because I see that when I clean out houses sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma, grandpa died. Okay. Very sad. I get the call. I don't do these as many because back ailments and those days are just gone pretty much.
Yeah.
Then we get there. Now the house is already done. The family's already gone through it. And half the time you know they've gone through it because it looks like a raiding party went through the place. And the ones that don't look like a raiding party, those take even longer.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do the raiding party to make sure nothing was left behind. There was a house me and my buddy cleaned out. And it was my buddy's job, but he asked me to help him out. Okay, fine, because he helped me out.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Yeah, exactly. So he's like, Tom, do you mind going up on the ladder and just throwing those tin cans down? Okay. Started throwing the tin cans down. Whoa, put the brakes on. This house was his aunt's house.
Oh boy.
Guess what was rolled up in those tin cans?
A whole bunch of money or something.
How'd you guess?
Because that generation loved hiding money in the most unassuming places.
These were the old cookie tins. Remember those metal cookie tins? Oh, I mean, it must have been about 20 or 30, whatever they were, didn't
God
matter.
bless her.
And they're like, well, the family went through everything, and that's what the nephew said. Yeah, sure they did.
Mm-hmm.
They saw the tin cans and went, yeah, junk, bobby pins, hair rollers, whatever.
Sewing supplies.
Sewing supplies, yep. There was none of that, no.
No.
30 of those
Money,
10.
Probably bonds, stocks, geez.
Oh, yeah, you never know, so that's the other thing, when I go to a house, I go and show everything that needs to go to a family member goes.
Yep.
Yeah, because even though you got a vase, oh, that vase is ugly, throw it away. Okay, fine. Just check in the vase. Well, no, we didn't do that. It's an ugly vase.
Yeah, but look what's in it. You don't think it's
Then you open it up and go, oh, look, there's bonds and stocks in there. I think you want those. I don't think you want those in the trash.
Yeah, exactly.
So that helps alleviate that stuff too.
It does, absolutely, 100%.
Then mom can give out, then the family member that's passing away can give out the tins. Okay, here's a couple tins for you, here's a couple tins for you. I don't remember what's in there, but whatever's in there is, congratulations, it's yours. And that's what most people don't get when they're,
No.
I see it all the time, going to auctions, clean-outs.
Yep, it's just something that's not thought of, and I don't know if it's not thought of because then, you're really faced with your own mortality right in your face because you're like, well, I'm going to have to do this one day too.
Right.
And this is hard. Or it's just, that mentality, I don't need to deal with it now. They'll deal with it when I'm gone.
And the other thing is, so I buy secondhand stuff all the time. So sometimes I usually cleanse it all because I don't know what's being what we do, you never know what's going to happen, right?
That's a little bit of sage,
Right.
smoke
So I
cleansing.
buy some books at the Salvation Army.
Those you absolutely.
And, well, those I do. The books, and sometimes at yard sales I'll buy books.
Yeah.
They're giving them away, basically. So one day after a yard sale, I went back and, oh, look at all these books. I knew they'd be there. The guy wanted like $30 a book, and nobody pays $30 for books.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. Those days are gone. So I went back and pulled the ones I wanted. Got them home, put them away. One day decided to go through them. You know what I found? Presidential coins set
I believe
in the
it.
books. So I went back to the guy was gone. They sold the house. I don't know who the hell the guy was or
There he
anything.
now.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I've gotten that out of Salvation Army.
Yeah.
So when you have these parties, at least this stuff is thoroughly gone through, and what's going to Salvation Army isn't $1,000 sitting in a book.
Exactly. It's literally just that is 100%.
It's
donate.
the book.
It's got no sentimental value.
Right. We flip through all
Get
the
rid of
pages. You might have missed a buck or two because sometimes they get stuck.
Yeah.
But at least you got. That makes sense.
Yeah, I love a good Swedish Death community party. They're so essential, and it brings
Bring some
you and the
food,
family.
get some food,
like
the favorite
make a
dinner.
whole day, make a weekend out of it. If
Right.
you got a lot of stuff, like there's really no.
Now, do you oversee them or you just?
I help facilitate them if asked, or I'll leave like a little plan. It's really up to the client,
Yeah.
but 9 times out of 10 I'm there.
Right. And then when things getting a little, you might take off
Yeah.
to the back room or the other, out to the car for a few minutes and
Yeah,
let them decide what they need to do without you being the interference or whatever.
Yep.
Which you're not, but that's
Definitely
it.
have to have a good judge of reading the room.
And you do. You do. On the cases you've helped me out with, you've done a great job. So.
I appreciate it.
So after the party, what's the next step? So now we get the house just down to the basics that your client's going to need. Well,
Yep.
she's still here. Obviously, clothes.
Really just focusing on what they want, What do you want to still accomplish that we can? Do you want to have a beach day? Let's go to Canopy for the day. Let's try every single ice cream sundae from here to the tippity top of Maine. It's really what do you want to do, and then when it comes time to when
Things
your body
get a
gets
little- yeah.
tired, you want me to be there for bedside sitting vigils, which is that's where I'm most called because family members, I know it can be really hard.
Well, even with
watching
my
you
own
look like
dad,
that.
it was tough.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
some of my own friends. In fact, the sad part about it's coming up on the 8th year anniversary of my dad. But here's my father's room. This was a non-traditional Bradford College student that was a friend of mine. Non-traditional meaning when you're in college, they're the older, the moms, the kid went to school later on in life. She was in this room. And over here was one of the local bakeries in Lawrence, the patriarch of the family. Well, the bakery's gone now,
Yeah.
but she was the last of the owners of the bakery in this room. So it was like,
Boom, boom.
it was like, so I stopped here. Was there when my father went.
Yep.
No, it is tough, because especially, and this is when families find out things that they don't know they had.
Yep.
And that's the next thing we want to discuss. So I'll lead off the discuss, and then you can just, because I'm not sure how to lead into this discussion. So we're sitting there around, so that night, my aunt showed up. Now, my aunt's gone. That's my father's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up. Later on that morning, my grandfather showed up. Obviously, he's passed on, my father's father. Then on 11:10 in the morning, it was actually 11:06, but hospice wrote the death time at 11:10. Because that's the time they saw.
Yeah, that's the time that they have to record.
Right, which is, I understand the legalities of that, but
Yeah.
it'll always be
11:06.
11:06 for me. But that's, needless to say, it's not a big deal. It's only 4 minutes. It is what it is. Then came my grandmother, which was her birthday.
Wow.
And then I said, I could feel them in the room. Then my mother said, Tony, it's time that he left.
Yeah.
He was gone.
That is.
As soon as my
such a
grandmother
normal
showed up,
phenomenon.
so I can see why families don't want to.
Yeah, because so I always, my favorite
It's easy
term
to
for
say
it is
goodbye and then go out in the waiting room.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
They're hallucinating. And it's like, well, our loved ones do greet us before we die. They are there waiting for us. They're there to guide us. They're there to bring us peace and comfort and solace. So everything you're sensing and seeing, yeah, when you see them, they'll reach out their blankets or reaching up in the sky. They're not hallucinating. They're seeing
Right.
whoever is there aiding them through this labor.
Or they're there living, like, we went on he was delivered so that Monday, the Monday before the Wednesday, we went in, all my brothers were there. And he looked at Jim, my brother, and said, hey, don't forget to put the bicycles away.
Mm-hmm.
My brother's like, we don't, Jimmy, yes, Dad, we'll put the bicycles away. He got it after, he got it. I deal with this stuff, so I have a little better understanding. Don't argue with them.
No,
just agree.
Go where they are.
Because that's where they are. They're back. He was back to the day when we were riding our bicycles.
Yep. So it's best
30
to
plus years ago.
go where they are. It causes a whole lot less headache.
And stress.
Yep.
So now we get to this point. The family wants rather you stay, and I understand why, because it's easy to go wait out in the waiting room for the nurse to come out and say it's over after you said your goodbyes, instead of watching those eyes closed. Or even worse, if they can't get the eyes closed.
Yeah, it just fades away.
Right, and their eyes are wide open.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. So what's the next step? Then you're done once they pass away?
I do offer grief support for the families post-mortem if they want it. And I offer it usually for about 4 to 6 weeks after. And then, I'll go to the wake or service, just pay my final respects. But that's usually, I don't get many repeat clients.
No, you're not.
And when I do get repeat clients, it's usually just them checking in, remind me hey.
So some of the clients you had come back and visit you.
Yes.
Well, that's a good thing.
I love that.
At least you've helped them move on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what else you channel to?
I channel all sorts of things. Spirits, big intuitive channeler, which helps me with my death doula work.
And how's that help?
It helps me because, especially at the end of life, when the dying is seeing and experiencing all these phenomenons of seeing their loved ones, seeing their angels, it helps me explain to the family. But also, it's beautiful when the person lets me in on that experience, and I can see what they're seeing, and I can get a little bit of glimpse into that other side of the world that they're heading to.
Interesting. So, how's it? So you've channeled that. Anything else of huge channeling?
Walking in here, I was channeling. This was a textile. I didn't know this was a textile old mill, and I said to my husband, I was like, "Oh, this is a mill building. Is this an old textile mill?" Because I kept channeling like young, like teenagers, and I kept smelling like wool.
Oh, yeah.
Strong sense of wool. And then we're walking, and 2 windows up, there was a big plaque, textile mill. And I looked at my husband like, see, I am psychic. I know this.
Yeah, no, this building is quite active.
There's a lot of
our old building
energy.
is quite active too. It's quite active up here. I'll be up here doing work by myself, and I hear.
Oh, and when they know that you're an open channel, so I'm sure there are more. Have you noticed that spirits tend to be more active when they know that you're open and receptive?
Yeah, because sometimes they want to come out and talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't want to come out and talk.
We've experienced that.
This case in Salisbury, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had to trick that spirit, didn't we? It gave us a fake name and everything, but it was easy to figure out once the client came back in the room and said, "Oh, he's still alive. The other guy's passed on." Oh, okay. Now we're going to solve this, and we're just going to go back and do a little work.
He gave the name up too easy.
Yeah, you never have that. I'm like, yeah, okay. Sure you are.
Yeah.
We played along, but we both knew that there was something's not right
Yep,
that
the math
day.
ain't mathin'.
No, and we're getting 2 + 2 is getting a 6 instead of 4. You know, it's like, yeah, there's something's not right about this at all. Do you think channeling actually helps clients?
Yes. Absolutely. I use channeling. I read tarot at a little shop in Andover. Me and metaphysical. Thanks.
That's right.
I'm an intuitive.
Great location, great people.
Deanna, the owner, she's amazing. But I've really noticed with my ability to be an intuitive channeler, and I don't just channel in past human spirits. I can channel certain angels. I can channel non-human spirits, plants, and I work with bees a lot. I'm very, very connected with bees.
Now, I've heard of channeling humans. I've heard of channeling, you want to call them aliens, because I know somebody who actually did. I've heard of channeling Pudgewuckies. You'll look at somebody who did at a house in Amesbury. Don't even get me started about that thing.
Amesbury is very active.
But I've never heard of channeling plants. Now, I know every creature, whether it's a rock, a tree, the light, the flower, has a spirit, has a name. We all know that.
Yep.
In fact, they made a great song about that, if I remember serves me right.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, that's it. But I've never heard of someone channeling plants. So, what is it similar to channeling humans?
Not really. So for me with channeling plants, it's usually I use it as like a form of protection and like a protective shield when I'm out in public, and there's all sorts of energies out in public and being sensitive. So if I'm in a place and I notice there's an envious eye, or someone's just they're asking questions to get a little too close than I want, and then I can I'll work with, I am a rose, yes, I'm approachable, but I am sharp, and you will feel that point if you ask the wrong question or you approach a little too close, because then I'm going to harness and channel the thorned rose bush energy, and that's what will be put forth. And just work with that.
Interesting. So, now how do you work with bees? I know bees are very intelligent.
So bees, it's all about the energy. Bees they resemble fertility. They resemble the cycle of life into death. They are the whole life cycle. They resemble abundance, prosperity, and when you work with that energy, you're inviting all of that energy into your life. But also, bees are nice and gentle, but if you swat near them or mess with them too much, they're gonna sting you.
Right.
So it's good for, again, protective measures as well as like a good protective shield.
Interesting. Yeah, I never thought about flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are life.
Yeah,
I mean, everything.
energy.
Everything's energy. The flowers feed the birds, they feed other things, they feed us. So, I mean, it's all part of the food chain. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, you're right about that. They do have energy themselves, but I've never had the luxury or the luckiness of being able to channel one of those.
It's interesting. I learned about it through a very wise person that I've learned from. He held a workshop at Omnia, Christopher Penzick. He talked about, really harnessing and working with those non-human spirits as forms of protection for yourself and to keep your own energy and force protected. And what we do, protection is everything.
Right.
Keeping yourself and energy protected is so key and essential to this line of work that we do.
Correct. So, no, it is. I mean, protection has to be number one.
Yep. I don't want to bring anyone extra home with me.
No one does. I mean, no one wants to bring anything home with them. And we really don't even know what we're channeling. Let's take the case. We're going to just say case in Salisbury to keep the client calm. Okay, we're doing a pendulum exercise. There's a lot of stuff going on in this house. A lot of stuff.
So much. It was difficult to decipher because everybody, again, they're like, oh, open channel. Everybody wanted to talk. Everybody had something to say. And it's like, wait your turn. I am but one person.
Right. So we ended up tracking down a couple of the spirits.
Yes.
And then we found the agitator, we'll call him. The agitator wasn't too happy with the way the house was set up. End the story.
Yeah, he did not like certain decor
And that's another thing we should discuss, decor. When you go into a house, I always say first, I know some people charge, some don't. That's to their own. Okay, we don't go either way, okay? We don't charge when we go into a house, but if someone wants to, that's up to them.
Yeah.
I don't blast anybody for what they want to do. But I always say, new house or old house, the first thing you want to do is get a cleansing.
Yes.
And people go, why is that? I got a new house. Should it be haunted?
The land.
Oops, how about the land? How about if there was a cemetery there that they didn't see?
Mm-hmm.
Especially up in Cowtown, New Hampshire somewhere. And there's a few towns up in New Hampshire that don't exist anymore, that out in the White Mountain National Forest. But there's a few towns that don't exist that are on private property. Well, one of those days, someone's going to develop that private property, most likely, unless the family figures a way to stop that down the road.
Yep, and that can stir up.
That could stir up whatever's buried. Not only that, you have farmland. Animals were buried all over the farmland.
And they
didn't have gravestones. They just were buried out in the front pasture.
Yep, and they will come back to check things out too, just like humans. They're curious too. They want to know what's going on.
You know, or you read, oh, Mr. So-and-so. It wasn't a paranormal, it was a historical thing. Someone came looking for this guy's graveyard. One of the early settlers of Haverhill, Mr. Guile. Okay, let's go looking for him. Well, he's not buried in any of the old graveyards. Then I found a little stoop from a write-up that was done right around the time he died. He was buried in the backyard, 200 feet northwest corner of the barn under the maple tree.
Wow.
Wait a minute. I forgot the date. It was either 1681 or 1682. Do you think that barn's still standing today? No. Think that tree's still standing today? No. So
You're lucky the dirt's still there.
good luck looking.
Yeah.
Right off of 108. That was Giles Street. He was found somewhere in that area there. So we don't know where what house Mr. Giles is under.
But he's there somewhere.
He's there somewhere.
He's floating around.
And this happened a lot in New England.
Yeah,
That's why we
so
have paranormal
common.
activity. I mean, that's why you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, the house at Salisbury, we're almost done the interior, but the exterior is going to be, well,
Yeah.
we kind of got to wait till the snow melts.
Yeah, because I'm interested to see what we pick up in the backyard near the shed.
You know, we got another case we're working on in southern New Hampshire that dates back way, way, way back. We're not sure how far back yet.
Ooh.
Could be 4,000, could be a little less than that. We don't know yet. There are many beehive locations in southern New Hampshire. The only one that's allowed to get to is the Danville Beehive because that's on town property.
Mm-hmm.
These beehives are about 400 years younger, some of them, than Stonehenge. That was all once Haverhill, Massachusetts. So we got a private home investigation out in southern New Hampshire, we'll say. I'm not going to say where there is a buried beehive in the front lawn.
Wow.
And many other things going on.
So many other things.
Then we
I'm
took a
sure.
walk to the trail down to the brook. Oh, that was fun. We got some knocks and a few other things. So there's some other things lurking in the forest other than ghosts.
Ooh.
So that's when we have to go back, well, when the snow melts.
Yep.
So what else do you do a lot?
I do.
Yeah,
I
you're
wear
a
many
channeler.
different hats.
So what's the next hat?
I don't know. Right now I'm pretty busy with, doing my death doula stuff and doing my tarot readings at Omnia is going well. Omnia, we are, with the warmer weather, we're cooking up a lot of fun workshops and activities to bring into the public. We would love to do an investigation there. It's an old building.
Yes, we could do that. What are some of the public events you're allowed to talk about so we can get some of them over the air to people? I know there's stuff that's probably still in the works.
We are participating in Temple Fest, which is held by the Temple of Witchcraft. I'm not sure of the exact dates. I believe that's happening in the fall.
And where's that, Salem?
So the Temple of Witchcraft is located in Salem, New Hampshire, but I believe Temple Fest is somewhere in West Bloomfield, I think. Western Mass, so that'll
It's an outdoor event?
Yep.
So yeah, you probably use it the old, where the Brookfield Antique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a
think
big,
that's
huge
where it
open
is.
field.
I would have to confirm.
Yeah, there's a big, huge open field that's used as an antique market for about 3 weeks. Don't go there because, well, go there, but don't go there with an open card, water cash,
Yeah,
because it's high end.
it's good antiques.
Right, it's stuff that ends up in movie sets and everything else. It's very high end, Brookfield is.
Yep, so that's really it for now that I can really talk on. We are cooking some things up, so hopefully getting closer to April.
So what is this store you work at? What goes on in the store? What can people expect if they go?
So Omnia Metaphysical, it's a metaphysical shop, but it's so much more than that. It is ran and owned by this incredible human, Deanna Goodwin. And the space is really it's a space where people can go to find themselves. If they have questions, they can come and ask openly. I'm a practicing witch as well, so we do carry a lot of tools and items that cater to witches, and we also have people that come in every single day. I feel called to this path, but I don't know where to start, so we're able to guide them. We hold workshops where, it gets people together to create community, and we always craft something. There's always some sort of craft that goes on, and it's really just a space of togetherness. Omnia is Latin for all, and you know, we are all of this earth, not on this earth, and it's really a space for anyone to come and be seen, heard, understood, ask questions. There's so many knowledgeable readers there. It's just a really lovely, inviting, warm space.
And where is this located?
15 Railroad Street in Andover, Mass, right at the MBTA near Whole Foods.
So real easy to get to.
Super easy to
Plenty
get
of
to.
parking in that area.
Yep.
I mean, plenty of parking. Andover's nefarious for not having parking, but
Yes, but there's
that area there, there's
plenty of
plenty
parking. And where it's located, it's just a quick little walk up to the other shops that are considered downtown Andover.
Right. So that's even easier to get to.
Yeah. Oh, I can say this. We are being added to a historical witches tour walk that's extending out from Salem, Mass, all the way up to, I think, Haverhill or Merrimack, I think is where it's ending.
Oh, who's?
Roger Hanlon.
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting.
That's a lot of walking.
It is, but you know, the Salem witch trials.
Is this a
just-
walking / driving thing?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
just
'cause-
like all along the way, so it brings the history and knowledge outside of Salem, because as rich as Salem's history is, it extends past what is now known as modern day Salem.
Right, because obviously Salem Village, and most Salem villages are Danvers, and most of the convicted / and I put these in quotes, were in the Andovers, North Andover especially.
Yep, and
That was like Ipswich,
Beverly,
Haverhill.
You know, it's not just Salem, Mass.
No, it's all over the place.
Yes.
In fact, there are still descendants of Mary Toothaker living in Haverhill.
Yep.
In fact, one of the descendants is a photographer in Haverhill with the same last name.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And the other half of the descendant is the famous Hannah Duster.
Yep.
So that's Mary, which is interesting.
That is interesting. So much history in this area.
Well, that's why we're called New England. You know, we predate some other parts of the United States.
Yes.
You know, that's why when I read old and I hear the word old, define it.
Yep. What is old to you exactly?
I always love where I work, which I keep separate, but they come in, they go, oh, I'm looking for this old building. Okay. It was built in 1897. We have buildings that go back to the 1600s.
Yeah. Some older.
Oh, well, for us, it's old. I said, well, where you from? Oh, California. Oh, yeah. Anything after the Civil War is old.
Yep.
Before the Civil War didn't exist. But that's where the definitions come in.
Yep.
And that's why this area has so much activity.
Oh, it's rich and active. It's everywhere you
From
go.
the French Indian War to actually even before that, the native wars that took place between tribes, to the French Indian Wars, to even with the Viking settlement and the Phoenicians.
Yep.
If we'd say it's the Phoenicians, we're still not sure if it's the Phoenician or the Vikings. But someone built America's Stonehenge and all these stone structures all over New England.
Yes.
They're in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut. I've done talks on stone structures in New
And
England.
some of them predate the Stonehenge that is over the pond.
Right, exactly. I had watched a show that was interesting. They put out, you know what ley lines are?
Mm-hmm.
Sunlights, for the people who are listening at home. The ley lines actually connect America's Stonehenge to England's Stonehenge, down to downtown Tripoli, and then back to America's Stonehenge.
Yep.
Now,
It creates.
how do you create that when you don't have today you could do that with computer generations and all the technology we have.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 14, 15, the 1600s, 17, they didn't have that technology. So you have to ask yourself, is it alien?
Aliens.
Is it luck?
Aliens.
Or what is it? I think it's aliens.
UFOs.
UFOs. alien technology.
I absolutely believe aliens have guided civilization since the dawn of time. I mean, you look at ancient Egypt and the pillars that they built to honor the sun god Ra, and where those pillars are, they are perfectly located with how the sun rises and how it sets and where you get the optimal power from the
Right.
sun. Like, aliens.
Correct.
Aliens helped with all that.
Now, I'm not going to give this location out because, you know, I've researched a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of hands-on stuff. So I just don't want somebody going, oh, let me go find this place and destroy it. So there's an area of Ossipee, New Hampshire, part of the Ossipee Triangle, which you listened to the show last week, goes from Salem, New Hampshire, straight up 93, so the right side of 93, to Jefferson, back to Somersworth, and back to Salem.
Yep.
That's a pretty big angle
That's
to
a huge
research.
area.
That's just ridiculous. That's why I've broken it down to different things.
Oh, you
But
have to.
needless to say, the Ossipee area of the Ossipee Triangle, okay? I actually found a location where there are Native American carvings in stone. And it's near the lakes. That's all I'm going to say. And one of the carvings, actually, you could see the squiggly line, so that's water. And then you see this round thing just coming out of the water the way it was carved. Let me think. I don't think that was a stone. It was carved by a local Native American tribe, so they knew what they saw.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a stone. I don't think it was a bird because they would have put wings on it. So what is round?
Saucers.
Saucers. And then round is easy to carve instead of the more detailed stuff. Round, you just try to make a weird circle. And
Yep, exactly.
there's the wavy line of the water,
Here's the saucer.
and here's the saucer coming out of the water. So I believe they've been here long before.
I'm with you. Absolutely.
Long before the dawn of time,
Yep, I agree.
and probably guiding civilizations.
Absolutely. I firmly believe that they have helped guide us through all the cycles that this earth has seen.
And when you see these things, now that's what we're doing with Essex County and the Paranormal UFO group that's an offshoot of Essex County. We're trying to map this thing out. And that's what I've been doing for years. That's why I get called to do library talks and other things.
Yeah.
Because even the case at Salisbury, I go to my Salisbury map and I pin about the location. We don't put addresses out there. But if I was going to do a talk and I see some weird stuff going on, there's a pin, there's a pin. That's where the Canosa Triangle came from, and the Sandown Triangle, which is in the Sandown-Hampstead area. Not everything we investigated, but my research, talking to people, told me there's all this going on. There's also something funny going on in Amesbury, too.
Yes. Amesbury is...
If you take the Martha, you take the street walker at night. Have you seen that guy? I did a talk in
near
Amesbury.
Cumberland Farms.
Oh, so you have seen them. Most of the people at Amesbury, when I
Not
talked
the old
about
Cumberland Farms on Main Street, the newer Cumberland Farms that's near the...
on 110.
Yep,
On,
where that four-way crossroad intersection
Yeah,
is.
on
110 and I think it's...
yeah, but I now know the name of that road. It's named after the
Front Street?
Mercy.
Mercy.
I think it's Mercy Street or Macy Street.
Macy Street.
That's
Macy
it. Yeah.
Street. That's it.
So when you read about this guy, he's only written once, and what I found interesting when I did that talk in Amesbury, I don't have my notes with me, but it was actually written in a WPA form. So what people listening may not know what a WPA form is. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's Works Progress Administration, done to get us out of the Great Depression. That's what bridges were built by the federal government, roads were built, highways were built, anything that could be built that could put people to work to put money back in the economy.
They built it.
They built it. The WPA wrote about a strange guy walking around Amesbury.
He's still walking around Amesbury.
I asked the people, I just did a talk at the Amesbury COA, and no one's seen him. So I'll put that in my notes of where I got my information from.
I haven't seen him often, but by the Cumberland Farms and where the Bartlett Cemetery is, across from the Bartlett Museum.
Okay. That's weird because it said downtown. He's now out of downtown.
That's where I've seen him. Unless there's more.
There might be more. But Amesbury's it's a carriage town. It was
It is,
another mill
and
town.
You have a huge Revolutionary War section cemetery. Right in the center of Amesbury. There's so much activity. There was a woman, Samantha Brown, the only woman in Amesbury that was accused of witchcraft in the 1600s and hung for it. I believe that she lurks around.
No, you also have what's her name too. The monument's on the street named after North something Road off of 110. She was a convicted witch. I wish I kept my notes with me, but I didn't know where this conversation was going.
Me neither. I like where it's going. We got Death Doula, aliens, all sorts of good stuff.
I hate when they put the other stuff out, like all the fake stuff.
Yes. You have to really go digging into Google now.
The ghost train, that's technically Salisbury. What was the name of that? I wish it didn't come up right away. But there was I actually got to see the marker of the house.
There's a lot of old houses.
Susanna Martin.
Yes.
And I should have known that. I couldn't remember because one of her descendants actually married a Revolutionary War hero in the South. Swamp Fox.
That last name sounds familiar.
That's the one that they did the movie after. The kid died who played the Joker. He actually died.
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger was in that
Yes.
movie.
Oh, what was the name of that movie?
The Patriot.
Yes,
It was
Mel
done-
Gibson was in it.
Mel Gibson, Mel Gibson played,
Yep.
and his wife was a Martin, who was related to Susanna Martin. Susanna Martin, read about her, talked about her at that. So that's the one I was talking about. There's a monument on North Martin Road.
I'll have to go check it out. I'm not familiar with it.
You know where the ice cream stand Hodgie's is?
Yes.
Right across the street, there's a sub shop that's been about 20 different names.
Yep.
Looks like something out of the West.
Yes.
Okay, because I worked there when it was one of the 20 names back in the 90s. That road, right
Okay.
after it, North Martin Road, down the end, it's a cul-de-sac,
Yep.
and there's a stone.
Oh, I'll have to go check it out on the snow notes.
Yeah, wait till the stone melts, because I don't think you're gonna, a
We're not
cul-de-sac
doing
was
anything
probably
right now
used
in
to,
snow.
no, but the way they plow the cul-de-sac was probably buried that stone.
Yep.
Buried that stone pretty well.
Exactly. They just shove it all.
Well,
in
because
one
there's no place to
corner.
put stone anymore.
No, none.
There's too much stone in the area. So they always have that going on. Then you have the ghost train that went through Salisbury and Amesbury along the train tracks, which is pretty close to our client's house too.
Very, very, very close.
Yeah.
The walking, it's literally the next light up.
Yeah.
It's alarming.
How close that is. So we got a lot of great stuff in New England to
Yeah,
look at. And Amesbury's one of those great towns.
absolutely.
But yeah, that guy that walks Amesbury was only in one book.
It's so interesting.
But it was on a WPA form. I went, wow, I'm
So he's
surprised.
been lurking around a while.
I'm surprised this thing isn't in more books.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get much more legit than the WPA forms.
No.
I mean, federal government forms. I mean, how much more legit?
Exactly. That's funny.
Yeah, so it is what it is, but we're almost to the end here, believe Is there anything else? How would people get a hold of you?
You can call me on my cell. You can get a hold of me through Instagram, That Witchy Tarot Girl. That's really easy to get a hold of me, or even through Facebook. Just search Jessica Miranda. I'll pop up. I got a blue check mark next to my name, and it's the Facebook page. That's all I talk about is death and death education. So.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, because I talk about gravestones, the history of carvings and stuff, and it's the same idea.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating where, from being dumped in a hole with maybe a little stone, flat stone, or a big stone with no name on it, just under this rock that's
Yep, there you go.
was Grandpa back in the 1600s. So we went into ding, 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 ding. If you had a little money, we carve your name for you.
Yep.
And this area had three of the greatest gravestone carvers there were in New England gravestone carving, the Havel Amesbury. And I say this area because where we are right now is in North Lawrence, which is part of Havel originally in the 1600s. South Lawrence is part of Andover now. It was actually Andover.
Yes.
North Andover were not split. They were
just
one community. So there's a lot of great history here. And telling these stories of the history of death,
I love it.
the history of the stones, the paranormal, and
They're all
everything that goes
connected.
bump in the night, it's all connected. So, well, Jessica, I think we're going to have you back on the air.
Oh, absolutely.
This was
Thank
a
you for
great
having
show.
me.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight, all the way from England, across the lake, to Alaska, to California, to Texas, wherever you're listening from. I'm heading back to my crypt to get some sleep.
Same.
So, good night, everybody.